of running and the camaraderie that exists in our sport. How many of you are out here running your first marathon tomorrow? Can I see a show of hands? That's wonderful. And how many of you are in the audience who ran your first marathon 1 or 2 or 20 or 30 marathons ago and said after your first marathon, never again? Make note of this, you first-time runners. You'll finish and you'll say, never again. And then tomorrow night you won't sleep and you'll say, well, if I had done this differently and maybe if I'd done this and, you know, if I'd worn something else and I hadn't eaten that, maybe I could run faster. And you'll keep trying until you do it right. And I'm still trying to figure it out. As a matter of fact, the first thing my mother said to me when I ran around the Coliseum after the Olympics was, now can you quit? I said, not yet. I still have goals in the sport, and that's what's so important for each and every one of us, to set those goals and not to give up until those goals are achieved. And once you start compromising goals, it becomes easier and easier to drop out of not only running but other things that you do in your lives. And I remember running in Chicago after I refer to my running career in 2 phases, DC and AD, before children and after diapers. And there's a big difference, but I told my children it's very important to finish everything you start. And there I was, I felt like a victim of a drive-by shooting at about 7 miles into the Chicago Marathon, and I really it was like somebody just shot me in the calf and I couldn't move. So I wanted to drop out, but there was a medical station there, and they massaged the muscle, and I drank a lot of water and ate some bananas and went back out there. And it wasn't one of my better marathons, but I finished. And that's my claim to fame, that I've never dropped out of a race. And I don't know if it's been the most prudent decision-making that I've gone through in deciding to stick with the race, but just this past spring I was in Oklahoma City and I was running a half marathon, and the same thing happened again, except this time it left my calf and went into my plantar fascia, and I was only about 6.5 miles, and Bill Rogers and I had started the race together and we had different paces in mind, so I said, you know, I may take off around 2 or 3 miles. Well, I took off about half mile into the race, and it caught up with me because I had to pull off many, many times, and I really wanted to quit, but I never quit, and I was severely hobbled, and I had addressed many of the families of the victims